Welcome home, family and fellow citizens of the African Order. I'm here with another video, and the topic of this discussion is trading places. Um, to me, it's refreshing to see how people who went off course were able to meet a mentor, and the mentor takes them up under their wing and gives them guidance, focus, and get these kids, back on the right track. I was watching a cooking show the other day, and a lot of the people that was contestants on the competition were felons, and they all had beautiful stories of how they were lost and they found themselves, you know, through food. And now here they are on TV. A lot of them are business owners, contributing to society, and they owe it all to their mentors. Now they're committed to reaching back and helping others. And that was touching. But I'm going to talk later on the dangers of not having a mentor. I'm talking about that later in this video. Sometimes people ask me, you know, why do you be, posting these videos like this? What's the reason for what's your goal? I, they accuse me of being racist, which I'm not. Saying I hate white people, which I don't. You know, and I want to divide us, which I do. But the reasons why I do what I do is because I see what's going on in the world, and I see the direction that not only that we're in, and I see that it's not trending towards anything positive. So I lend my voice to my people to help get them back to where they should be. You know, Matthew 13, chapter 16, it says, I'm paraphrasing, blessed are the eyes that see and the ears that hear. Now, when I read that, it made me speaks of awareness. Because if you can't see and you can't hear, how can you be aware of your surroundings, what's going on? I see what's going on. I hear the cries of my people, and I lend my voice to them. It also says in John 10, uh, 27, 28, my sheep listen to my voice. They know me and they will follow me. And if you don't think my voice is the voice that my people should be listening to today, I promise you, tomorrow you will know. You've been listening to what voice up until this time? Who have you been listening to? And has it gotten better or worse for our people? Meanwhile, while you're listening to the same voice, while the waters is getting higher and higher, you have voices like Roland Martin using these turbulent times to referenced this country's reconstruction after the Civil War. He's actually talking about how this is our opportunity to rebuild this country. When I heard that, I almost fell out of my chair. This country have enslaved our people for 500 years. We've been enslaved, Jim Crow, over incarcerated, underemployed, underpaid, underrepresented for 500 years. And now this country is so vulnerable right now. Infrastructure is collapsing, pandemic, racial tension at an all-time high. And this fool is sitting up here talking about rebuilding the same prison that you're on the verge of breaking out of. That when I see that, when I hear those words, you better believe I'm going to try to be a voice for my people. Because we can't listen to voices like that. I was talking to this guy, and he was like, well, you can't use victimhood, you wasn't a slave, and blah, 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 and I said, well, let me defend that victimhood thing you're talking about. Let's say you're a Cadillac and some thieves came and took you from your owner, from your land, stripped you of your tires, your leather upholstery, your surround sound, your rack and pinion steering, your suspension, your high-powered engine, and replaced all these things with inferior parts. What do you think? Can you still call yourself a Cadillac? His response to me was, it was chilling. I haven't seen a coon like this in my entire life. I have never seen nobody so committed to having somebody with the history of these devils to continue to be over you. He says to me, well, first of all, you're still a car. So now you can either be mad because they took your parts, or you can go on and try to be the best car you can be. But you were the best car. You was a Cadillac before these guys got their hands on you. And now you want to live your life inside some margin because you too scared to get your parts back from the thieves that never should have had them in the first place. And these are people that want to be the leaders of blacks, that want to guide and direct our people. Be happy with what the thieves left you. Be the most you can be. Don't worry about what you used to be. Don't worry about what you used to accomplish as a people. Don't worry about that they took that and they built businesses and industries and denied you from to have access to them. Just live your life within the margins that they allow you to. I'm supposed to tell my people something like that? I would be betraying them. I can't even fathom even thinking anything like that. Do you think that I would use my voice to reconstruct, support the same system that has been oppressing us for 500 years. I'm using my voice so we can build our system for ourselves, a new and better system. One where the governing body and its people live symbiotically. They depend on us, we depend on them. They can't live without us, we can't live without them. That's a system that we should be thriving for. Not a system where you will sacrifice the people to sustain a business. So because this business can't make as much money as it did the year before, your solution to that is to lay off or fire, suspend more workers so the business can keep more money. That's crazy. That's I, that's nuts. I'm like I said, I didn't come on this thing to continuously be talking about current events, talking about how our brothers are being killed one after the other. And and but until I can get a large enough following, I'm going to keep bringing these points out to you, showing you that the path we're on is not the path we should be, and hopefully our people will get frustrated enough to say, well, okay, you win. What can we do? Because we can't keep leaving our children out in the streets for hours at a time after they've been shot and killed by these white pig cops. You have the Candace Owens, the Hodge brothers. Soon as a white kill a black, they coming up with the stupidest defense of their masters. Stop fighting. Stop running. It was a mistake. He shouldn't have reached for a cell phone. The fact of the matter is, these whites will kill you for whatever reason. And RayShard Brooks, he had every reason to fight. I mean, when you look at the history, just in recent events, would you want yourself to be handcuffed and taken away by these devils? I wouldn't. But in the case of RayShard Brooks, I'm gonna speak on. I may make another video about this later on. But right now, this is something very important. Like I say, we need a voice for our people, and I'm an advocate for mine. There will never be a time where you'll be able to look at these videos and see me speaking on behalf of anybody else other than my people. So now that they have killed another brother, RayShard Brooks, the police are saying now that the weapon that RayShard Brooks fired at the officers was a lethal weapon, a taser. One of the officers has turned himself in. I believe the other one have. I'm not sure. But my mentality is this: when the officer that shot RayShard Brooks in the back twice because he fired a taser at him and he felt his life was threatened, when he woke up that morning, What was his mentality when he thought of a taser? Did he think a taser was a lethal weapon or a non-lethal weapon? During the scuffle, you see the other officer shoot the taser at RayShard Brooks twice, but he missed. At that moment, was the officer shooting at RayShard Brooks to subdue or to kill the man? Only when RayShard Brooks got possession of the taser and shot it in the direction of the police officer. Now the taser is a lethal weapon. So now this is what the court is trying, or the police department is trying to determine, or trying to say a taser is a lethal weapon. Well, let's say they make that argument. It would benefit this guy not at all, because the day he woke up that morning, if you would have asked him, is a taser a lethal or non-lethal weapon, he would have said it's a non-lethal weapon. You cannot change the status of a taser to protect a police officer before this decision has been ruled on. Because right now a taser is considered a non-lethal weapon. By the time it go to court and they say this taser is now considered a lethal weapon, it will benefit this pig cop not at all. Because once precedence has been established, it does not benefit anything that happened prior to that. So at the time he shot RayShard Brooks, he shot him because RayShard Brooks was shooting a non-lethal weapon in his direction. His life was not in danger. And he should not have shot this man twice in the back. But before I end this video, let me speak again on the importance of having a mentor. When you are led astray, when a child or a group or a gang is out doing things that they shouldn't be doing, if no one puts their arm around them, embrace them, they will continue along their path. 500 years ago, these sea roaches washed upon our shore, took our people from their true position, and changed places with them. And no one for 500 years have took them up under their wing and say, you know what, maybe you've bitten off more than you can chew. You did enslave people who welcomed you, taught you, educated you, built for you. Everything you've built, the system and all, it struggles. The country's in debt, poverty. No one has intervened to tell them that maybe you need to take a step back. And this is what happens when you don't intervene, when you don't embrace, when you don't try to correct bad behavior by a person or a group. You get the turmoil, the social injustice that we have today. So I'm going to take this moment and I'm going to tell white people, it's okay. You were never meant to be leaders in the first place. You shouldn't have been in this position at all. Take your hands off the wheel and let somebody lead that was born to lead. Let somebody lead who have led before. Before you got here, black people were accomplishing great things that your people still today can't figure out. There's no shame in that. But not only are you killing yourself, but you're killing everybody else. Trying to keep yourself in a position that you were never built. You were never built for this. I hope that you listen to these words. I hope you see what you've done. And let go. And I promise you, you won't be treated like you have treated others. Because the immorality, the lack of humanity only exists in you. I'm going to end this video here. And with this video and with all my videos, it is for the complete liberation of my people. I'll see you in my next message. Ashe.